In this video, we're going to cover how to scale a law firm. It helps if we start by first defining what scale is. Scale is when you increase the capacity of your law firm. And the best way that I could think of explaining this is the lawyers and the paralegals and the other staff in your firm, that's your inventory. That is what you can sell. And the more inventory that you have, the more money you can bring in. Running with the inventory analogy, let's take a supermarket, for example. If somebody were to open a supermarket and they would place one item on the shelf and say, I'm open for business, they would sell that item pretty quickly, and then they'd be out of business. In order to have a booming business, they have to have the right inventory on the shelf. They need to have enough of that inventory on the shelf, and they need to have the right seasonal inventory in. For example, if their shelves are filled with Christmas items, and it's June, they're probably not going to sell a lot of them. Your law firm is no different. Your law firm needs to have the right inventory to serve your clients. Another concept that's difficult to understand is capital investment in your firm. But when we start to look at the same analogy, we can understand it a little bit more clearly. If you were to fill the shelves in a grocery store, you would actually need to buy the items before you sold them. However, as firm owners, we often have a hard time hiring somebody before we have the clients that they're going to serve, which is kind of backwards. It's kind of like a grocery store having people waiting in line while they ordered the items to put on the shelf. Before we go on, if you're finding this information helpful for you, you probably have a friend who would appreciate the same. Hit the share button and share it with your friend. So when it comes to scaling your firm, the entire idea is we're going to add more inventory so that we can serve clients that we're going to bring in afterwards, which means we're going to invest some capital in the growth of our firm. And that happens by onboarding more people or bringing on some technology that's going to allow us to have more bandwidth. The biggest challenge when scaling your firm is, who do I hire? When do I hire them? How much should I pay them? Questions like that. And we created the Law Firm Growth Formula to help step you through that process and make sure that you're doing the right investment at the right time. And you can learn more about the Law Firm Growth Formula and how we can support you in implementing that by visiting profitwithlaw.com/elite. Often when it comes to increasing our capacity, making a capital investment in our law firm, we're simply afraid, maybe from past experiences, or maybe just because we don't know what the future holds for us. So let me tell you a little bit about one of my clients, Becky Torres. She shared her story on our podcast, Profit with Law. Becky had hired an attorney in the past. It was a poor fit, and she ended up needing to let that attorney go. She had a little bit of PTSD from that and was afraid to hire her next person. When she joined the Elite coaching program, she did have one person working in her office. However, in the following 9 months, she worked on increasing her staff by 3 more people. And that drove her business by more than doubling her revenue in that time. And what also happened is her profitability followed. She went from a negative profitability to being almost 40% profitable, which means that by making that capital investment, it wasn't more money out. It was more money in. And that's really the key to understand when you're looking at scaling your law firm.